Bayern Park is a charming family theme park in Germany. This park is gorgeous with some fantastic landscaping, and it also has an impressive amount of attractions. This includes 5 roller coasters, including Freischutz, which may be the country's most intense roller coaster. Then there are plenty of supporting rides, playgrounds, and even some animal exhibits. In this video, I'll provide an in-depth review and a guide for Bayern Park. This property opened back in 1985 as Visteler Wild Park. As the name suggests, this was an animal park. In 1991, the park transitioned into an amusement park and was rebranded as Bayern Park. Since then, the park has steadily expanded to boast dozens of attractions. This park is located in Reisbach, a small town in Bavaria, Germany. This is roughly 70 miles or 116 kilometers northeast of Munich, or a 1.5 hour drive from there. If you arrive by car, you will find a large free parking lot, and it is actually paved, unlike a lot of these family European theme parks that have you parking on a dirt field. If you want to use public transit, the closest train station is Dingolfing. From there, you can take a taxi. Alternatively, there is a free shuttle bus from that station, but it has very limited times and dates. It frequently operates on just weekends with single departures. On that note, this park is typically open from late March through October. Just double check the park's hours before visiting. Rides open a half hour after the park. Most days, the park is open from 9 a.m. until about 6 p.m., with rides operating continuously. But if you visit very early or late in the season, the park may be closed on weekdays. And due to limited crowds and staffing, rides will frequently close on days the park is open. All of the rides may close midday so employees can take lunch breaks. And some of the park's larger rides like Freischutz, Voltram, and the water rides may operate for just 3 hours total. The exact hours for each day and ride can be found on the park's website. Keep that in mind if you do not allocate a full day at this park, because you may have to work around the schedules for these rides. Then, since this park is located in Europe, operations will be relatively unaffected if you visit on a rainy day. It is a refreshing change of pace for most family parks in the US that will often close early or fail to even open in rainy conditions. One of the biggest strengths about this park is the landscaping. This is a very wooded park. There is so much tree coverage that you can barely see any of the rides from the parking lot or other sections of the park. The only ride that can really be seen throughout the park is the Voltram Drop Tower, because that ride is simply ginormous. Then, along with all the shade, this park has all sorts of beautiful gardens, and there are plenty of green spaces available for guests to lounge and relax. This park has a very relaxed vibe. On top of the natural beauty, this park has a decent amount of theming. Several rides are plussed by themed carriages or structures, particularly the newer attractions. One particularly quirky thing this park did is they turned the queue line for Freischutz into a maze with multiple themed passages. I have never seen anything quite like that in another park. Be prepared to consult the park map frequently. This park can be a bit tricky to navigate. Beyond the tree coverage, this park is built on a hill. There are some long inclined walkways. If you're mobility challenged, there is a train that'll take you up and down the hill at least. I have also encountered some closed pathways, which can be frustrating, especially if you start to traverse the hill and have to turn around. Then the older section with the animal park is a long ways from the rest of the park. It is only accessible by a single path at the bottom of the hill. Then this forms a large loop around a lake, ultimately taking you back to the bobsled, which is on an entirely separate hill. Now let's run through the ride lineup. As I noted at the start, this park has 5 roller coasters. The best of the bunch for thrill seekers is easily Freischutz. This is an X-car coaster from Mauer. This ride is an absolute powerhouse. It is a fast-paced and uber-forceful ride. There's an LSM launch, followed by 4 inversions and some intense helixes. Most elements have crushing positive Gs that will cause you to gray out. The only exceptions are the barrel rolls, which instead offer hang time and laterals. This ride does have a noticeable shuffle, so when paired with the intensity, this ride can take a lot out of you. I find it tolerable, but I know it's not for everyone. The other coasters are far milder. making them suitable for kids. They also are way smoother, making them more re-rideable for the park's family audience. Franz is the park's best family coaster. Built by Gerstlauer, this ride creatively uses switch tracks to traverse the same layout going both forwards and backwards. It is quite trippy, passing through the station multiple times in different directions. Then this is paired with some fun theming, a pinch of laterals, and some light positive G's. Achterbahn is a Zaire Tivoli coaster for families. This is one of those coasters with a comically long train that meanders about. This one features a custom layout wrapping around trees. It is a relatively tame experience in most rows, but it does have some pep in the rear rows. You get some nice whip on the second drop, and genuinely good laterals on the helix, and you get 2 laps each ride as a bonus. Freischutz is another Zaire Tivoli coaster, specifically a small version meant for kids. The layout is a basic oval, but it is a smooth and gentle experience, and yes, adults can ride this if they want to accompany their kids, or get the coaster credit. The final coaster is Star Shuttle. This is a self-operated butterfly coaster in this indoor castle towards the front of the park. You are hoisted up a half pipe before rocking back and forth. It is simple, but you may get a tummy-tickling drop or two. Now interestingly, this park used to have an outdoor butterfly coaster as well. This is one of the park's older rides, but was removed in 2021 due to age and redundancy. Star Shuttle is one of several self-operated rides you'll find at Bayern Park. There are a handful in that aforementioned castle area. 1 or 2 guests board a vehicle and secure their own restraint, then guests themselves hit a button to start their own rides. Common is a pendulum ride. You pull a rope and a motor kicks you higher and higher. If you hold on long enough, you can actually get some shockingly good standing airtime because of how minimalistic the restraints are. Luna Loop is a hamster wheel on a track. Riders have buttons on the restraint that can flip their vehicle. The rotation is very slow, so you can get some extreme hang time, especially if you stall yourself upside down. Moving outside, there are plenty of other self-operated rides as well. Frosch Pendle is the exact same ride as Comet, just with a few side-by-side for capacity purposes. Then there are a series of tracked kids rides that automatically dispatch themselves. These have adorable vehicles such as pigs or horses. On that note, this park is one of the deepest overall attraction lineups I have seen for kids. Beyond the usual small rides, many of the larger rides are accommodating or have low minimum height requirements. Then there are countless play areas scattered about. One slide I definitely want to point out is Style Rusha. This is an extremely steep slide, and it's pretty tall too. With a nice push over the edge, you can actually get some airtime, which is pretty freaky when you're riding in just a burlap sack. For traditional flat rides, this park is a handful peppered about. I think the newer ones are particularly noteworthy because they have been more ambitious in terms of their scale and theming. Over the past decade, this park has added more thrill rides. One such example is Duell der Adler. This is a Gerstlauer Skyfly. If you rock your body and paddles together, you can get this thing flipping feverishly fast. I frequently invert over 40 times per cycle in this thing. This makes it arguably the most disorienting ride in the park, but it admittedly does have a learning curve. Voltrum is one of the world's tallest drop towers. Built by Funtime, this ride stands a staggering 358 feet, or 109 meters tall. I still cannot believe this park built a ride this tall. It sticks out like a sore thumb. But on the bright side, you can see for miles, especially since the gondola rotates. Then the drop is an absolute rush, offering plenty of speed and ample floater airtime, and this ride has some electricity theming in the queue, which is pretty funny because Europa Park in the same country has an electricity-themed coaster named Voltron, not Voltrum. If you want a far smaller and milder drop tower, the park has Théolon. Built by Zaire, this ride stands out since it's built inside this castle. As you bounce up and down, you will see all these trolls around you, so honestly, it feels more like a dark ride. My favorite spinning ride at the park is Drachenbahn. This is a smaller Himalaya from Zaire, but it once again is plussed by the theming. It is enclosed with multicolored lighting and booming audio. Then the ride goes both forwards and backwards, offering nice sustained laterals. I am spoiled by all the indoor scramblers in the Northeast United States that elevate a basic flat ride into a spectacle, and this ride reminded me of one of those. It is also worth noting this park recently had Henna Hushen, an art wild spring. This is a fun ride, but it is tucked in the back corner of the park by the bobsled, so be sure not to miss it. Moving on to the water rides, Bayern Park has a few options. The most notable of the bunch is Wildwasser rafting. This is a river rapids ride from ABC Rides, but it really feels more like a water slide. You wind down this inclined trough, sliding quite high up the walls. Then the splashdown in the water will get whoever goes backwards soaked. Wildwasserbahn is a Reverschon log flume. It is the standard portable model, but the drops do have some zip per usual, and this one is accentuated by a tunnel and some sprayers. Reifenruche Tube Racer is a water slide down the park's main hill. It is a shallow slope, but it's long, so you build up respectable speed by the end. Then the tubes can spin, and you can race a buddy as a bonus. Then this park has some scenic boat rides. Again, this park is beautiful, so it really takes advantage of the setting. There's the Redamper paddle wheeler in this big pond. Then, there's the Rundbootfahrt durch Schloss und Grotte. This is a spinning boat ride winding through these gorgeous gardens, all while set in front of this palace-like building. It looks like something from a fairy tale. And this park also has a dark ride in Staudo Gaudi 4D. This is a screen-based shooting dark ride. If you've ridden Farm to Bang Bang and Nagashima Spa Land, the scenes are nearly identical. This one just uses a rotating platform versus a conventional track to save on space. Riders use a pull gun like Toy Story Midway Mania. I really like this ride system. Then there are plenty of targets. The visuals are solid, and I liked how each projectile behaved differently in terms of the physics for some variety. The final ride to know is the aforementioned bobsled, Twin Bob Rodelbahn. This one has some drawbacks though. 1, it is shorter than the other rides of its kind that I've done. 2, there usually are a lot of kids and families going slowly, so you rarely can go full tilt, which makes it less appealing to thrill seekers. Then beyond the rides, I again should note this park has some animals. There's nothing overly large, the biggest animals are on the scale of deer, but they do have large habitats, and you pass by a good chunk of them heading towards that bobsled area. How should you tour this park? First, consult that calendar to see if any of the major attractions have limited hours. If so, you will have to plan around that. If you visit on a normal day, the longest lines will likely be for some of the more popular non-coasters. The longest waits are usually for Wildwasser rafting, the Theolund Drop Tower, Twin Bob Rodelbahn bobsled, and Stadel Gaudi 4D. On a summer Saturday, these rides at a 20 to 30 minute wait for me, which is not bad at all. For La France, it gets a solid wait right at opening, because it is the closest main coaster to the main entrance. But by the afternoon, it should have a minimal wait most days. I have never seen more than a 5-minute wait for any of their other parks' roller coasters, which is music to the ears of a thrill seeker if they want a marathon Freischutz. I think that ride is a bit too intense for the park's clientele. The coasters here all have just one train, and several other non-coasters have smaller vehicles. While the rides may have limited throughputs, the staff members load them swiftly. This is not too surprising if you have visited any theme park in Germany. These quick operations allow the rides to frequently hit their theoretical capacities. This park opens at 9 or 9:30 a.m. most days. Rides will open a half hour after the park does. I would recommend starting with Theolund and Wildwasser rafting. These two rides are next to each other, about halfway down the hill. Then continue down the hill for the dark ride. Then if the bobsled is a priority, do that next. This ride should be quiet early in the morning, minimizing your wait, and offering you the best opportunity to go full speed. With the 4 longest waits knocked out, you can then work your way through the rest of the park at your leisure with minimal waits. Like a lot of family parks, this place does not offer a skip the line pass. I honestly do not think it would be necessary most days anyway. How much time do you need at this park? You could definitely spend a full day here exploring everything, especially since this park is only open until 5 or 6 p.m. However, I think you can comfortably do all the major rides in this park in a half day. If you are an extended roller coaster road trip, it is definitely possible to pair this place with another if you're pressed for time or trying to maximize your itinerary. Because I have spent half days here, I have not tried any of the food of this park. I have always eaten before and after my visit. Day tickets cost roughly 40 euros or 46 US dollars. I think that is definitely a fair price given the large quantity of rides and the nice atmosphere. Do I recommend this park? I sure do. This is a great park, one of the more underrated ones in Germany. This place has an intense headlining coaster in Freischutz and a deep supporting lineup of coasters and non-coasters. Add in the short waits, lush landscaping, and chunks of theming, and this is a park where it's exceedingly easy to have a pleasant day. There really is something for everyone here. But if you have young kids, this park is even more appealing given their wide range of offerings for little ones. If you are looking for a theme park in the Munich area, I think this is the best option in the immediate vicinity. I do prefer some of the larger theme parks in Germany, but those are towards the west or north. Those are my thoughts on Bayern Park in Germany. What are your thoughts on this theme park? Do you enjoy this place as much as me? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.